guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial we are going to learn about Datadog.
But before we begin, let me inform you few things about us. DevOps School is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
A 400 plus integration available, right? So for example, if we want to have any matrices to be want to see any matrices for Docker, so we have to get in Docker's Wala dashboard. That's how it would be for us, right? There would be no stand.
Dashboard I did not discuss right now.
I know, but then on, say for example, if I have to see for dashboard, see all of them we cannot see at one go, right? We have to get into that particular particular thing, and then only we would be able to see it. That's how it would be.
No. All the matrices you can see at your one dashboard. Also,
We can see it.
Yeah,
Right?
we can create our own dashboard.
Fair
Now,
enough.
probably you have seen the dashboard, which is a free dashboard given for each integration by
Okay.
Datadog. So that is the one you are seeing that.
Okay, fair enough. So once we'll be in there, then we'll have more idea of it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So so let's get started. So now I'm going to discuss about agent. Okay, the one which you have already experienced. Dog stash D and matrices. Okay, so the Datadog agent, which you know probably, and I have one assignment also followed by this. So each one of you please focus on it. So we have the question is very simple. How can I feed the matrices? How can I send a matrices to the Datadog SaaS based platform? How can I do that? So there is a one way which you know, and that is called agent. Okay, the one which you have experienced. But you know what? You can also use API also. Okay, and third thing, you can use integrations also. So these are the ways in which you can collect the matrices, different kind of matrices, and send to Datadog. So the agent is lightweight software installed on your host. It report metrics and events from your host to Datadog via integrations, Dog-D or the API. And with additional setup, agent can report live processes, logs, and traces. Okay, so agent can be configured for live processes, which you have done it already. Logs, I'll teach you, that's an upcoming session topic, and traces also upcoming session. So that means agent can be used for sending the matrices, events, logs, and traces. Logs and traces I need to show you. In fact, you can use API also and Docs-D also. So look at this architecture. This is the agent, the one which you install it. So now if you want to deep dive into the agent, basically they have multiple part of it. One part of it is called collector. Collector means the software which collect the matrices from the different sources. Okay, so you see that collector collect the information and it's sent to the forwarder. How would they do that? So using the HTTP, they send to the forwarder, and the port number for the forwarder is 17123. And there is one more component which is optional actually, and that is called dog stash D. Okay, so dog stash D capture the matrices at the UDP port number 8125. Okay, this is not enabled by default. You can enable it in agent actually. And these three components together, we call it a Datadog agent. And Datadog agent using the HTTPS send the data to the forward the data to the Datadog SaaS software, SaaS platform. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So now these are the platform which is supported by Datadog agent, which I have discussed first day only. So I'll just ignore it. So now let's discuss some of this out of this context. Now the question is, there is a component called stash D. Now what is a stash D? So I was talking about the Datadog agent, but suddenly I'm discussing about a stash D. So what is a stash D? So in a simple way, if I put it up, stash D is a one software which is open source, by the way, which will gather the matrices from application running inside it. Okay, so I don't know how many of you have understood or not. So stash D basically is a daemon running in your application, the place where you're running application, and stash D basically instrument the software, and software will send the different matrices to the stash D, and stash D can send that matrices to the some of the backend for storage. Now this is something which is not new technology, it's a very old technology, and we are having this tool which is very popular, and many of these vendor organization in the monitoring world, they use it. So now, did you understand this or not? All of you?
So it would be, I mean, talking about the matrices, that the matrices we would be defining in there. That's how it would
No,
be doing,
no,
right?
no, no. This is different actually. This is different. So let me put it up in a some simple way. Uh, yeah, and probably it will be useful. So before that, I would like you to read this once only. Stash D is originally a simple daemon developed and released by ITC to aggregate and summarize application matters. Mind it, application matters. With
Okay.
Stash D, applications are to be instrumented by developer, mind it, by developer, using language specific, mind it, language specific client library. These library will then communicate with the stash D daemon using its dead simple protocol, and the daemon will then generate aggregate matrices and relay them to the virtually any graphing or monitoring backend. Okay, so let's understand that in a simple way. So this is your, I'm putting in the over, I'm showing you the all the workflow. This is your laptop and you are the programmer, and this is the server where you want to run your applications. So what is the code? This is your code of what applications. So this is the code which you have. So what you will do, you developer will instrument this code. This code is applications. Are you understanding, all of you? Correct now?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. So this code you will instrument it. Now question is, what is instrumentation? In a simple way, instrumentation means adding one few lines of code in each line of your code. Simple, that's called instrumentation. Now instrumentation can be done for a various reason. Here I am doing instrumentation for the generating a matrices, collecting the matrices. So this is the source of application, this is your code. You instrumented some, added some specific line. Let's say this is a Java code, so you added some Java code library inside your application, and this application you are running in the, this application you are running in the server. Now here in this server there is one utility which is running as a daemon, and that's called stash D. I'm not able to write it properly. This is the same utility. So this is a stash D. So what will happen now? People, end user, will access this application because this application is instrumented. So this will send the all the matrix which you configured in the code to stash D, and stash D will collect the matrix and send it to some database which can be used, multiple database can be used, and from there you can visualize it. So this is what the flow which is, and with that context, can you please read one more time? Stash D is originally a simple daemon developed and released by ITC to aggregate and summarize application matrix. Mind it. With Stash D, application are to be instrumented by developers. That's the step number one. Using language specific client library means Java will have a Java client libraries, PHP client libraries, Ruby client libraries, and like that. And using these library will then communicate with the stash D daemon using its dead simple protocol, and then daemon will then generate aggregate matrices and then relay them to the virtually any backend as such. Make sense, all of you?
Yes, Rajesh. Now understood.
Yeah. So now the question you must be thinking, why I'm talking about the stash D? Because my topic is Datadog, right? Datadog agent. So
Yes.
yeah. So here, this is how the stash D works. Okay, I have explained it you more or less, and this image, I'll show you something. So I'm not going to read it, but more or less we understand that now. I assume that. Okay. So look at this here. So these all are application running and sending the matrices to stash D aggregator, and stash D storing in the backend storage, some sort of database. Look at this same image, different way. This is on node application, instrumented with stash D library, client libraries. This is a Golang, instrumented with the Golang libraries. Python, Python instrumented with the stash D Python library. So the moment you run these applications, they will send the matrices to the stash D server. And you look at the arrow, stash D server will be storing in the backend. Are you comfortable with that, all of you?
But
Yes.
Stadi is a daemon, right? You said.
A daemon,
I
yes.
mean, it is a
Stash,
service, right?
it's a running as a daemon in the same machine or some way. Remote machine also you can run it because the communication using you see UDP.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
here that is done. Now look at this is a broader picture. Very carefully look at it. There is one server called Terracotta server A. There is one more server Terracotta server B. There is an application running Megatron and Megatron. So from here, using UDP, you see that all the matrices traveling to the stash D. Focus on my cursor. And from stash D, this all the matrices stored in the multiple backend, and one of the backend which we have is
Datadog.
Datadog. Okay. So now the question is stash D is being used what? See, understand that in a simple way. Agent, you installed it, you experience it. But it was gathering which matrix? It was gathering the CPU matrix, it was gathering the RAM matrix, and you configure Docker matrix, then you configure Apache matrix. But sometime what you want is some of the matrix from the code level, your software, your application you are running inside that. From there you want, then you will say, Rajesh, what kind of metrics you are talking about? So for example, let's say I want the some metrics. Let's say if there is a one order has happened, I want that to be stored in the Datadog. I repeat, order. I'm just giving you a dumb example. Or maybe there is a one particular checkout has happened and I want to store it in the Datadog transaction database. The transaction information I want to store in the database. So how can you do that? Your agent has no idea about the application, the one which you are running. So for that kind of matrix, you have to get the stash D. So stash D works at the application level, code level. So for that, you have to first instrument it and then forward to stash D, and stash D will send to the backend. Did you understand the use cases of stash D?
Yes.
Okay.
Rajesh, could you just repeat the last sentence? Like, uh, why Stadi is going to help the developer? I mean,
So stash D, any custom metrics from your application you want to store at monitoring tool. So for that you need some additional setup tools. and that's where the stash D will help you. I said
Okay.
custom metrics from your code level, not infra level. See, Linux is infra, Windows is infra, IS is infra, Apache is infra, Docker is infra, process monitoring is infra. But I don't want this. I want some of the metrics from my application. How do I get it? Stash D. How to do that? So first you have to instrument your code, your application with stash D library.
So
Then
there is any, I'm so sorry to interrupt. There is any limitation of the languages which supports stats or
most of the popular languages supported by Stashty, which I'll show in some
okay.
upcoming slides. Okay, so yeah, custom code, custom metrics you want, but from where? Not from infra, applications, code level. So that you want to have it, sometime reportings and uh, auditing and all. You want that kind of information, so that you can use a Stashty. Make sense, all of you?
So SAP, from SAP also it will pull the um,
SAP for that
matters.
you don't need SASD. SAP is a API based application, no? So for that API is sufficient. API,
Okay.
API. See that the API. So SAP will provide some API and you give the token. They will give you all this information what you needed. Make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, great. So now the question is, then you will ask me, Rajesh, how this stash D is related to Datadog. For the backend, I understood, but is there any other way it's related? So you know what has happened, guys? Datadog is not using stash D actually. So they are using, look at this image which I showed you earlier. What they are using? Tell me.
Collector.
No, 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 no. They are using
Is
dog stash D.
dog stats tree, okay.
Understood? They are
So it's
using,
different from a stats tree, right?
yeah, that's what we have to understand. So they are not using stash D. Datadog agent is having, you can configure the Datadog agent. So Datadog agent is not using stash D, they're using dog stash D. So now you'll ask me, okay, I understood stash D, then now you're saying Datadog is using dog stash D. So what is a dog stash D then? So basically what has happened, because all these are open source product, by the way, agent is also open source product. Okay, agent is also open source product written in Golang. So here what has happened, Datadog is a big fan of stash D and use it extensively internally. Customer customer to submit metrics from stash D into Datadog for graphing, alerting, event correlation and team collaboration. Datadog embedded its own, mind it, its own stats daemon within a Datadog agent. That means what Datadog did, they copy the source code, they modify it as per their requirement and improve it SASD and embed it in the Datadog agent. So to make the setup as simple as possible, that means if you want to have data from the applications also, you don't need to install anything else but Datadog agent, which has dog stash D available, which is extended form of stash D, which you can configure and get this done. So Datadog extended the stash D protocol for supporting tagging. So in stash D, tagging was not available. Tagging, have you seen the tagging anywhere while configuring it? Have you seen this?
I did not notice the
While configuring the Docker or Apache, you were giving one more line tag,
acha.
right? Tag, right? So
Yes,
anything
yes.
colon and space a tag, that is a tag actually. So any metrics you can tag. Tag is basically user classifications for that particular matrix. Okay. So yes. So here stash D do not support the tags, but here dog stash D support the tag. One of the Datadog killer feature. This lets you add additional dimensions to your matrix, such as application version. You can add it, the type of customer for a specific call, or dab dab dab. You can add a tag, and filtering and searching it will help you. Datadog made it very easy to discover stash metrics in the Datadog UI, and every host will automatically advertise his metrics and stuff like that. So yes, now you understood that dog stash d, and now you understand the dog stash d, and Datadog agent has a built-in stash d which is disabled. You can enable it also if you need it. So while the stash d accept only metrics, Datadog accepts all three of the major Datadog data types, which include metrics, events, and service. So if someone will ask you what is the difference between stash d and dog stash d, so you can see, you can tell stash d only accept the metrics, but dog stash d accept the metrics, event, service check, and tagging is also allowed. So this is how it's done. So yeah, dog stash d is a Golang implementation of etc. Uh, Stash d metric aggregation daemon. It is used to receive and roll up arbitrary metrics over UDP and Linux socket, thus allowing custom code to be instrumented without adding, sorry, latency. So now you understood this. So dog stash d will work in the same way as dog stash d works. So I'll just ignore it. Look at this here. So carefully, there is one host. We have one application which is Python, one application which is Ruby, and one application in Java. So what you have to do, first thing, there is a client library. You have to instrument the Python application using Python client libraries of stash_d, then worker, and then backend. After instrumentation, you run this application, and this application automatically will send the matrices to the doc stash_d, which is the agent running in the each host of your machines. You know that, and then doc stash_d will send that through the HTTPS to through the forwarder to the Datadog. Make sense, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the how doc stash_d. So yep, the easiest way to get your custom application metric, I repeat, custom metrics application into Datadog is to send them to doc stash_d. And a metrics aggregation service bundled with Datadog agent. Doc stash implement the statsg protocol and adds a few Datadog specific extension: histogram, metric type, service check, events tagging, and any compliant stash_d client works with the doc stash_d and the agent, but you won't be able to use it Datadog specific extension. So the question is, how can I enable the doc stash_d? See, instrumentation part, you'll have to do that. There is a client library I would like to show you through the Google. So open up any page and stash_d client library. One page for all. Now someone has asked me which programming language it supports, correct now?
Yes.
Yeah, so you have answer in front of you. So it is Node, Java, Python, Ruby, Swift, Perl, PHP. I don't know about this. Low also C, C++, .NET, Go, Apache, Varnish, PowerShell, uh, some browser or stuff like that. Objective C for this one. What do you say? Anyone is using this one? Uh, iPhone, iPhone, so Objective C, Action Script, and so many other stuff also. So you can instrument first and then run application and configure where is the doc stash d. I mean basically agent, and then a port number and all I have explained it to you. Understood, all of you? So how can you enable the doc stash d? By default, it's enabled, disable actually. So you have to enable it. This is the configuration file in a datadog.yaml file and the port number. So these are the two entries you have to enable it. It will be commented, but you can do that. So let me see. This is mine one. Go back, go back, and here datadog.yaml grep dog I dog enter. Now multiple You see here, many options are there for the docs-t. These all are commented. You can uncomment and things like that. Make sense, all of you? All of you?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. So that's one part of docs-t. There is another component which you saw that what was a collector. So collector gather all the standard metrics every 15 seconds, aggregate and then send it to the Datadog. So this is the
Yeah, but
older
then
version.
on this collection time can be customized or it is fixed 15 seconds?
No. You can customize everything. All this thing you
Everything
have.
can be, right? This
Yeah,
pooling can be done as per
yeah,
our
yeah,
requirement, right?
yeah.
Okay.
This everything in Datadog.yaml, every behavior you can change it. Okay. Okay. So Datadog agent, the forwarder, you have experience, it will send the data to the Datadog and stuff like. This is the older agent, which is very old, written in Python. So I'll just ignore it and so on. Now this is the UI part, the one which you are experiencing. I was not able to load it first day because some issues with my server, my laptop. But yeah, so this agent UI, you will have it with you when you install the agent. You can launch the agent UI also. So you can configure the port on which the GUI runs in the Datadog YAML file. By default, it was a 5002 in Windows. So disable the GUI, set the port value to -1. For Windows and Mac OS, GUI is enabled by default. That's the reason you are able to see that. But in Linux, you have to enable it manually. So this is something. So each one of you have experienced that Datadog agent manager, right? All of you, the same thing I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay, so what are the requirements and all? So requirements, I think we more or less understood what are the requirements for this. So look at this. This is a very important things. These are the services in Windows. You will see you have already experienced it. So now I don't have to, explain you too much. You saw that multiple services in the Windows, and these are the services. Didn't you? All of you have seen that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is for the port number for the different requirement. So 5000 port is being used for exposing runtime matrices about the agent which is being used. 5001 for the used by the agent CLI and GUI to send commands and pull information from running agent. 5002 is for the GUI server that we have experienced. UDP port, which is for data docs-d, is 8125. So these are the port you need to reserve for agent part of it in Windows and access. Now, how do we work with it? So this you have already worked with it. So I don't have to talk about it. Datadog hyphen agent. Many of you have run this command and many of you are forgetting also. I have experienced that. So yes, you have to experience that. Those commands and multiple options are there. And few options I already have taught you. Few options will be all addressed in upcoming sessions. These are the commands which you have with a Datadog agent: check, config check, diagnose, flare, health, help, hostname, import, and install services, launch UI, resume import, remove services, restart services, start services, store status, stop services, and version. That's all. So these are the commands which you have. Out of which, check config, health, hostname, I have asked you to use it. If you want to troubleshoot and more in detailed way, diagnose is a good command. If you want to check the connection between your machine and Datadog, flare is a good command. And restart, start status and all stuff like that you are using, I assume you will not get stuck. Some of the command which is like a reg import and all, we'll discuss about in upcoming sessions. Okay, so now I would like to show you one template of datadog.yaml. And by the way, you have seen that file already, so I don't think so you'll get stuck. But this place, this official website for the GitHub, and this is a complete information you have. It's a pretty huge file actually. So yeah, any option which you want to do that, you have these options. So I think 3000 lines of code you have in this. So this is your datadog.yaml file template. Understood? So yes, whenever you have a confusion, you can should check this one. Now, where is the location for the YAML file? So most of the time in Linux, it's the same location. Mac, you can just see that. If you are using Mac machine, you can see that. I think many of you are Windows machine. So do I need to tell you where is that? Because you have already experienced it multiple times. So now you understand these slides little better than earlier. Correct now, all of you? In Linux and Windows, you have experienced it.
Yes.
Mac, I did not show you. So these are the locations which we have for the. So remember that any configuration changes for the Datadog agent, it's a datadog.yaml file. Just remember it. Location may vary, but yeah, this is the file. Okay. Now, where do you enable the integration? And I'm damn sure you are knowing about this path also. You did Apache integration, you did a Docker integrations, you did a these all integrations, and for that we have to go to this directory. Do you remember that, all of you? In Windows, let's look at this, because in Windows you do not install any software as such, but in Windows also the locations you see under the Datadog programs data datadog conf.d. All of you? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, so how to enable Datadog agent check and configuration file. This also I did discuss about it. So what you have to do, you have to go to the any integrations. I repeat, any integration you want to enable it. Okay, for the checking some data. So you have to go to the conf.d, make it YAML file, some templates will be there, modify, you have to understand the template. I know that people are not looking at the other files other than what I'm saying, but you have to get this expertise. This will help you definitely. So YAML file and stuff like that. You know guys, one thing I'll tell you, please hear me out. Inside the con.d, any directory you can create. It's not like only these directories are fixed. Any directory, let's say I want to create one integration called Rajesh. So what I will do, inside the con.d, rajesh.d I'll create, and this YAML file I'll put it in the supported format of Datadog agent, and it I can start the custom integrations also. It's very simple. Make sense? Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Check name, it can be anything here. All of you?
Yes, Rajesh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah, so that's a concept. This is the troubleshooting over the period of time. Anyways, we'll do the troubleshooting while keep working with it. But some of the troubleshooting which I said, please check that service is running, keys are okay, site is okay, your configurations are okay, config check and all sort commands are there. These are the things okay. Then last thing you have to check outgoing internet connection. For my lab environment, everything's open, but some cases, sometime what happens, organization has blocked some of the HTTPS call and stuff like that. So outgoing HTTPS call, so you have to check that one. So that's one of the last one. But apart from that, there are few commands also there. For example, diagnose. This command you can use it. Flare also you can use. Health you can use it. So these are the commands you can use it and get started with it. Troubleshooting. Okay, so this is a troubleshooting. Now, how do we start it? So guys, start the agent and stop the agent. You can do in a many system commands. So here, I think in Linux, we are very sure about it. Systemctl or service command, you can use it. And in Windows, you have to go to the services and do that stuff. Are you comfortable with that starting the agent and stopping the agent and stuff like that? All of you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, other platform like a Kubernetes and Docker, I don't want to drag this over the period of time. Once you build this understanding, you will understand immediately automatically. So these are the status command. Again, service systemctl and service command will work for us. Agent status, you have used this command, uh, Datadog agent status and all stuff like that. So that is the thing. Okay, so yep, that is stuff. Now, now forwarding and flushing. On my screen, there is a there's a pop-up actually. Just wait for a few seconds. I think it should go up automatically. Yeah, so forwarding and flushing metrics to Datadog Cloud from restricting outbound traffic. So yes, using the web proxy such as Squid or Microsoft Web Proxy that is already deployed to your network, you can also skip the firewall outbound traffic. You can use HA proxy also for outbound traffic. I mean, if it is blocked, you can use it. Using the agent as a proxy also, up to 16 agent per proxy, you can use it. And you can also use Prometheus push gateway for the same thing. So if you have a outbound traffic 443 blocked, then these are the alternative which we have for this. Yeah, so this is the something which we do that. So these are the steps which you have to do. So we have to install the agent, install the few integrations. We have to analyze the logs, APM, and then finally you have to create a monitoring means alerting, and dashboard. So these are the things which you have to do at Datadog. Okay, so guys, did you understand the agent part altogether? Any questions, any doubts so far?
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to 100s of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.